boys and girls, remember last week when we read Lily's Purple Plastic Purse? And we learned about Lily and her cool purse with her movie star sunglasses and her 3/4. This story was by Kevin Henkes, and guess what? I have another story about Lily to read to you for today's read aloud. This is also by Kevin Henkes. It is called Julius, the Baby of the World. Now I'm looking at the front cover and I see Lily, and she doesn't look like she's being very nice to the baby. Let's read on and find out what happens. Julius, the Baby of the World. Before Julius was born, Lily was the best big sister in the world. She gave him things. She told him secrets. She sang lullabies to him every night. There, see? She's talking to the baby. Baby's not born yet. After Julius was born, it was a different story. Lily took her things back. She pinched his tail, and she yelled insulting comments into his crib. "I am the queen," said Lily. "I am the queen, and I hate Julius." But her parents loved him. They kissed his pink, wet nose. They admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Lily thought his wet pink nose was slimy. She thought his small black eyes were beady, and she thought his sweet white fur was not so sweet. Especially when he needed his diaper changed. "Julius is the baby of the world," chimed Lily's parents. "Disgusting," said Lily. She was all excited for him to be born, and now she's not so excited. I wonder why. Lily had to share her room with Julius. Maybe that's why. Lily had to share her room with Julius. "After Julius goes away, do I get my room back?" she asked. "Julius isn't going anywhere," said Lily's mother. And he didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. Lily was supposed to be very quiet while Julius slept. "After Julius goes away, can I talk like a normal person again?" she shouted. "Julius isn't going anywhere," said Lily's father. And he didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. "We want Julius to grow up to be an extraordinary person just like you," said Lily's mother. "So we must tell him constantly how beautiful he is and how much we love him." They want Julius to be as extraordinary as Lily. When no one was looking, Lily had her own idea. She said, "I hate you, ugly." She's kind of jealous, isn't she? "We want Julius to grow up to be as clever as you," Lily's father said. "So we must sing him his numbers and letters whenever possible. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, Mom and Dad are singing the ABCs and saying the numbers for Julius to learn. Lily's not so happy. When no one was looking, Lily had her own idea. She was saying the numbers incorrectly. She was saying 3, 8, 1, 5, 9, 6 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she was saying A, J, K, Z, B, S, C, H instead of saying the letters in order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know how it goes. She was trying to mix up Julius. Lily's parents were more than a bit doubtful about leaving the two of them alone together. Lily tried to frighten Julius with her nifty disguises. She learned magic and tried to make him disappear. She She learned magic and tried to make him disappear. When that didn't work, she simply pretended that he didn't exist. She's not being very nice, is she? Lily spent more time than usual in the uncooperative chair. I remember in the other story, Lily's purple plastic purse, when Lily spent time in the uncooperative chair, but she put herself there. Now she's in it because she's being mean to Julius. I like the signs. I hate everything. I'm hungry. Things that she's putting on the back of that uncooperative chair. Lily's parents showered her with hugs and kisses and treats of all shapes and sizes. They even let her stay up 15 minutes later every night. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. I am the queen, said Lily, and I don't like Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose. They admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. I think he's pretty cute. Lily's parents were amused when Julius blew a bubble. Can you believe it? They exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, blowing a bubble of spit from her mouth, they said, Lily, let's mind your manners, please. Lily's parents were dazzled when Julius babbled and gurgled. Such a wonderful vocabulary, they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's act our age, please. Lily's parents were amazed when Julius screamed. What lung capacity, they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's restrain ourselves, please. When the baby screams. But if Lily does that, her parents don't like it very much. They were amazed when her brother did it just to say, oh, wow, he can be loud. One morning, while Lily was busy playing one morning while Lily was busy playing opera. Opera is when she was singing. Oh! One morning while Lily was busy playing opera, her mother said, why don't you put some of that verbal exuberance to good use? Why don't you tell Julius a nice story? I wonder if she's going to be nice and really tell him a nice story. He's too little to understand a story, said Lily. He can understand it in his own way, said Lily's mother. Okay, said Lily, smiling. Julius, look at this large print here. Julius, the germ of the world. By me, said Lily. Once upon a time, said Lily, there was a baby. His name was Julius. Julius was really a germ. Julius was like dust under your bed. If he was a number, he would be 0. If he was a food, he would be a raisin. 0 is nothing. A raisin tastes like dirt. The end, said Lily. The story earned her 10 minutes in the uncooperative chair. I'm guessing because it was not a very nice story. So she had to go back to that uncooperative chair. Lily warned her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor, about babies. Trust me, they're dreadful, she said. She warned strangers about babies too. You will live to regret that bump under your dress, she said. And here's a woman who's going to be having a baby. And she says, you're going to regret it when the baby comes. Lily ran away 7 times in one morning. I'm really leaving this time, she called. Who knows where you'll find me? The same afternoon, Lily had a tea party, and everyone came. Everyone but Julius. His invitation must have gotten lost in the mail, she explained. There she is with all her stuffed animal friends, having a tea party. I don't think she really invited her brother. Lily had glorious dreams about Julius. And ghastly nightmares, too. She had dreams about her chasing and going after Julius. And then of Julius going after her. Lily's parents showered her with compliments and praise and niceties of all shapes and sizes. They even let her drink her own juice out of the antique china cup. It didn't matter. Nothing worked, no matter what her parents did. Lily was still upset about having Julius around. I am the queen, said Lily, and I don't like Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. Do you think maybe she's jealous because Julius is getting a lot of attention? But her parents are still giving her attention, but it's just not enough. Doesn't make her happy. When Lily's mother felt up to it, she planned a festive celebration in honor of Julius. All the relatives came. There was quite a spread. What's the big deal, said Lily. Haven't they all seen a silly lump before? Apparently not. All afternoon the relatives hovered over Julius. They kissed his wet pink nose, just like her parents. They admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. So Lily's parents had a party, a celebration for Julius, to celebrate Julius becoming part of the family. Disgusting, said Cousin Garland. What? Said Lily. Julius, said Cousin Garland. I think his wet pink nose is slimy. I think his small black eyes are beady, and I think his sweet white fur is not so sweet. He needs his diaper changed. Lily's nose twitched. Her eyes narrowed. Her fur stood up, and her tail quivered. You're talking about my brother, said Lily, and for your information, his nose is shiny. His eyes are sparkly, and his fur smells like perfume. Cousin Garland was speechless. He can blow bubbles, continued Lily. He can babble and gurgle, and he can scream better than anyone. Cousin Garland tried to slink out of the room. Stop, said Lily. I am the queen. Watch me closely. All of a sudden, she's defending her little brother when Cousin Garland starts to say not nice things about Julius. Lily picked up Julius. She kissed his wet pink nose. She admired his small black eyes, and she stroked his sweet white fur. Your turn, said Lily, handing Julius over to Cousin Garland. Kiss, admire, stroke, Lily commanded. Now repeat after me, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. Julius is the baby of the world, said Cousin Garland. Louder, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. And from then on, he was, in everyone's opinion, especially Lily's. The end.